everyone, welcome to my channel Easy Learning. In today's video, I am going to explain you the basic concept of chapter 14 of grade 8, factorization. So to begin with, let's first understand the term factorization as per the name of the chapter. Factorization meaning is to write an expression as a product of its factors, right? So if you have any natural number, say for any natural number, what are natural numbers? 1, 2, 3 and so on, right, are said to be the natural number. We have learnt it in our junior classes. How do we write the factors? Say I have taken a number 16. How do I write the factors of 16? 1 into 16, then another combination 2 8s is 16, then I have 4 4s is 16, and then if you want you will again repeat it as 8 2s is 16, and then 16 1s is 16. So if I want to write the factors of 16, what will be the factors of 16? 1, from here it is 1, 2, 4, then I have 8 and 16. So the factors of 16, 1, 2, 4, 8 and 16. These are said to be the factors of the given number, given natural number, which is 16, right? Similarly, in this chapter we will understand how to factorize the algebraic expressions, okay? Before that, let's quickly revise the properties of the factorization factors. Okay, so we know the basic property that 1 is a factor of every number, right? 1 is a factor of every number, right? We know that, right? So we don't write 1 as a factor unless it is specially required with each number. So second property that we know, the factors are limited, right? We have calculated the factors of 16 which are limited, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Whereas if I want to write the same multiples of 2, so multiples are said to be infinite. There is no limit. Multiples are unlimited. They are infinite. We can keep writing the multiples of the given number. Whereas the factors are limited, right? And if you want to write the third property, we can write, if you take an algebraic expression, say 3xyz, how we will write the factors of this number? Let me change the screen. Okay, so if I take an algebraic term, say 3xyz, how do I write the factors of this? Now you see here 3, as we use the term prime number, here we use as irreducible factor. Okay, so how do I write the factors? 3 into x into y into z, and I already explained you that 1 is a factor of every number. So if I want to write the factors, how I will write? 1, 3, x, y and z are the factors of the term 3xyz, right? If I take another example, let's take one more example, say 15xy, right? If I do the prime factorization of 15, it will be 3 5s are 15, then 5 1s are 1 and 1. So I have these 1, 3 and 5 as the prime factors of 15. So I can expand it as 1 into 3 into 5, and for the variables x and y, it can be x into y, right? If it is xy square, right, so I have to write it twice. This is how we write the factors for the algebraic terms. Okay, now with this I will explain you the method of finding common factors. So these are the basic things given in the first exercise as well. That is why I am explaining you the complete concept of the chapter in this video, which is going to be really helpful for you when you will start solving the questions. So let's understand it first with the help of the natural numbers. Okay, so for an example, I am taking two natural numbers, say 10 and 12. We know how to write the factors of 10 will be 1, 2 5s are 10 and then 10. If I write the factors of 12 will be 1, 2, then 3 fours are 12, then 6 twos are 12 and 12, right? Now, what are the common factors of 10 and 12? You have a 1 in both the numbers, you have a 2 in both the numbers. Is there any other common factor? No. There is no other common factor. So how do we write the common factors of 10 and 12? Common factors of 10 and 12 will be 1 comma 2. So which is common in both the expressions when you write their factors. Similarly, if I take it for an algebraic expression, say example 2, if I want to write for a binomial, I want to write, say, the example 2xyz plus 4x. Okay, so this is one example I am taking. If I expand this, write the factors of this will be 2 into x into y into z, and the factor of 4x will be 2 into 2 into x, right? And we know that 1 of course is a factor of every number, which we normally don't write as it is already understood. So if you circle the common factors 1, then you have 2, another common factor, then you have x here as well. Now y and z we are not having here, and this 2 is not on the other side. So what are the common factors? If you see, the common factors are 1 into 2 into x, which gives you 2x, right? So if I want to solve it, this factorization, what is common in this first and second term, which is making a binomial expression? 2x is a common factor. What is left from here? When 2x has been taken common, you are left with yz, and when you are taking 2x common from 4x, you will left with 2. So this is going to be the factorization of the given expression, which is 2x yz plus 4x, and you get 2x. When you take common, you get yz plus 2. So this is how we calculate the common factors of the expressions. You can pause the video if you want to note it down. Now in this chapter we will be learning different methods for the factorization depending on the expression given. So factorization by regrouping terms, or in some books you will see it rearrangement is also said, rearrangement of terms. So these are two terms you have to use: factorization by regrouping terms or by the rearrangement. Okay, so for this I will be picking one example. Say the expression I have taken from the textbook only: 2xy plus 3x plus 2y plus 3, right? Now if you see, there are how many terms? There are 1, 2, 3 and 4. There are 4 terms. It's a polynomial, right? And there is nothing common in all the terms. But if I see the first and second term, I have x common here, but there is nothing common in these two terms, right? Similarly, if I see second and fourth term, I have 3 common here, and in my first and third term, I have 2y common. So there are combinations where I am getting something common when I am taking two terms together, but in all the 4 terms there is nothing common, right? So we have to follow the method of regrouping terms or the rearrangement method. Now how do we do that? Let's understand it. So your expression which is given is 2xy plus 3x plus 2y plus 3. Now what I will be doing, if I take these two terms, if I regroup these two terms in one bracket and I regroup these two terms in another bracket, then you get 2xy plus 3x in one bracket plus 2y plus 3 another bracket. Now what is common here? X is common here, you get 2y plus 3. Now there is nothing common, but we know 1 is a common factor, so I can take 1 as common, 2y plus 3. Now you see the important part here, when you take the factors which are common, the terms inside the bracket here and in the second term should be common. It should be exactly same. So when you are making this group, you have to keep in mind that when you are taking the terms common here and from here also, the terms which are left inside both the brackets should exactly be same, right? So now you have converted this 4 term into a 2 term expression. Now you are having one term and you are having second term. What can we do for the 2 terms? We will see what is common factor here. X into 2y plus 3 plus 1 into 2y plus 3. So the common factor is 2y plus 3. What is left here? Only x. Then write the second factor along with the sign, which is your x plus 1. So the important portion which everybody has to understand in this, while regrouping or while the rearrangement, you have to pair up the terms in the group in such a manner that when you take it common, the terms inside the bracket should be same. You can, it is not required that you have to put one and second term in one bracket and third and fourth in another bracket. Since we know the addition is commutative, right? We know the addition is commutative. So we know a plus b plus c is same as a plus c plus b is same as a plus, if I write b plus a plus c. So you put it any order, your answer remains same. So you can always put first and third term together and second and fourth term together depending on this condition. Okay, you can pause the video to note it down. We will be doing many examples and there are a lot of questions given in the textbook and you will have a better clarity for this concept. Now, I am explaining you the second method of factorization, which is factorization using identities. These identities I have explained you earlier also. So we will make use of the algebraic identities to find the factorizations of the given expressions. So what are those identities? A plus b whole square is equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Then on the second identity I have a minus b whole square, which is a square minus 2ab plus b square. Using third identity, which is a square minus b square, will be a plus b into a minus b. Then we have fourth identity, which is x plus a, x plus b gives you x square plus a plus b into x plus ab. So we will make use of these four identities, algebraic identities, first, second, third and fourth identities, to solve, to find the factorization of the given expressions. Okay, to understand it with the example, I will take first one example, say x square plus 8x plus 16. Now you have to factorize it. You have to find the factorizations of the given expression, which is x square plus 8x plus 16. So I will make use of the first identity to solve this question. How can I do it? First important thing, that you should be able to identify the type of question. Now you see here ax square plus bx plus c. This is called a quadratic equation. Okay. Now if you compare the expression ax square plus bx plus c with the given example, which is x square plus 8x plus 16, right? Here a is a constant, b is a constant and c is a constant. A, b, c are constants here, right? And this x square and x is a variable. So if you compare, what is a constant here? 1. X square plus bx, which is 8, and c is your 16 given. So for such questions we make use of algebraic identity. Now if I want to convert it in this form using the first identity, which is a plus b whole square is equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square, this can be x square, leaving the middle term as it is. 16 ko I can write as 4 square. Okay, so basically this is going to give me a square, this is going to give me b square, and the middle term will give me 2ab. So 2 into, what is my a here? X. What is my b here? 4. If you multiply it, what you are getting? 8x, right? Now this expression is equals to what? A plus b whole square. What is a here? A is x, b is 4. So I can write it as a plus b whole square. It means the factorization of x square plus 8x plus 16 will be x plus 4 into x plus 4. So we have made use of the identity, algebraic identity, to calculate the factorization of the given expression. I will take one more example to explain it. Let's take one more example. Say x square plus 14x plus 49. Okay. Now, how I will write it? This will give me a square, this will give me b square, and this term will give me 2ab. So, x square plus, leaving the middle term, 49 can be written as the 7 square. The middle term is 2ab. 2 is a constant as it is. What is a here? X. What is b here? 7. And if you multiply these terms, you are getting 14x, which is same as it is this. Now using the identity, which is a plus b whole square is equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. If you see, this expression is already in this form, which is a square plus 2ab plus b square, which shows that I can write my question as a plus b whole square. What is a here? X plus 7 whole square. So the factors will be x plus 7 into x plus 7. So this is how we will find the factorizations of the given expression using the identities. Now I will take one more example before I move to the next method. If your number is say 49x square minus 36. Okay, now you will think this question is not in the form of a plus b whole square, neither in the form of a minus b whole square, nor this is x plus a, x plus b, right? So whenever you see that there are two terms and both numbers are perfect square number, maximum a time we make use of the third identity, which is x square minus b square as x plus a and x plus a and x minus b. So, using the third algebraic identity, 49x square, can I write it as 7x whole square? Because 7x whole square means what? 7x into 7x. If you multiply it, 7 sevens are 49, and this x into x will give you 49x square. So, I can write 49x square as 7x square, copying this minus sign as it is, and 36 can be written as 6 square. Now you see, my question is in the form of a square minus b square, which can be written as a plus b, a minus b. What is my a here? A is 7x and b is 6. Writing this in the form of a plus b into a minus b gives me 7x plus 6 and 7x minus 6. It means the factor of 49x square minus 36 using third algebraic identities will be 7x plus 6 and 7x minus 6. So this was your next method, in which I have explained to you how you can find the factorization of the given expression using algebraic identities. Next method is your middle term splitting method. This method is very important and is applicable to all the quadratic equations. When you are making use of identities a plus b whole square, a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square, you will have certain restrictions to apply it on the quadratic equation depending on the type of question given. But if you are having any quadratic equation for sure can be solved using middle term splitting methods. Okay, so to explain you, I will pick the same example. We have taken x square plus 8x plus 16. Okay, to solve it using the identities. Now I'm going to explain you the same method using middle term splitting. Now, as the name says, middle term splitting means you have to see which one is the middle term. So what is your middle term here? Your middle term is 8x. Term splitting, it means you have to split 8x. Now how you have to split 8x? You have to split 8x in two parts such that, see here, This can be your 4x plus 4x plus 16. So what I have done, I have splitted 8x as 4x plus 4x. Okay. So how I have done this, I will be explaining. This is my quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c. You have to split this middle term bx such that when you solve the terms, you are like plus 4x is giving you plus 8x. We have to make sure along with the sign and the product of the constant terms. What are the term here? Plus 4 and plus 4 should be equal to AC. Product of the constant term, which is plus 4 into plus 4, should be equal to AC. What is A here? 1 and C is here 16. So 4 4s are 16. You are getting it equal to AC. A is 1 here. It is not given, but we assume it is 1 here. I'll be explaining it to you again. So first thing, you have to identify that the given question is a quadratic equation. So if you compare it, it is given ax square plus bx plus c. So if x square, I can assume a is 1 here, right? Now this is your middle term, which you have to split in such a way that your solution of both the terms should be equals to plus bx. And the product of the constant terms, product of constants should be equals to AC. AC means this constant and this constant's product. So if I want you to explain x square plus 8x plus 16, I have to write the factor of 8x. This I am explaining using middle term. So I can write 8x as 4x plus 4x, because 4x and plus 4x, if I am adding, I am getting 8x, and if I take the product of plus 4 plus 4 gives me plus 16, which is equal to AC. So x square plus 4x plus 4x plus 16. Now what I have done, I have converted this quadratic equation in an expression of 4 terms, right? And in previous example, what we have done, when there were 4 terms in the given expression, which method we have used? Rearrangement, right? So again we will, when we are getting 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 terms now, again we will start regrouping the terms using the same approach. So if I put x square plus 4x in one bracket, and if I go 4x plus 16 in another bracket, what is common here? X is common, x plus 4. 4x plus 16, you see the common factor is 4, you are left with x plus 4. Now I have two terms, first and second terms. What is common here? X plus 4 and x plus 4, both the terms, so I can take it out common. What I am left with? X plus 4. So it is same as we have done using the identity. We are getting the same factors using middle term splitting. Okay, so you can just rewind the video and you can just compare both the methods. That was using the rearrangement, and here we have used middle term splitting method. Students, you can pause the video if you want to note it down. I would like to explain you with one more example. Say the quadratic expression is x square plus 5x plus 6. Okay. Now again, if I compare it with the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c, where a is again 1, I have to split 5x. I have to split 5x in such a way that the product AC should be equals to how much? A is 1 into 6 should be equal to 6, and the solution should be equal to plus 5x. That is your middle term. Now we will do hit and trial. If I do 3 2s are 6, and if I add 3x plus 2x giving me 5x, so from here I can write 5x as 3x plus 2x, because the solution plus 3x plus 2x is giving me plus 5x, and the product of constant, which is plus 3 into plus 2, is giving me this AC term, right? Now copying this 6 as it is. Now again I have converted my quadratic equation to a 4 term expression. Again we will make use of the regrouping. If I put x square plus 3x in one bracket and then 2x plus 6 in another bracket, see what is common here? X common. What you are left with, if you have taken x common from x square, it is x, x common from here, you are left with 3 here. 2x plus 6, the common factor is 2x. If you take 2 common from 6, 2 3s is 6. Now you see we are getting the same terms in the bracket which is common, and I'm left with x plus 2, which is your second factor of the given quadratic expression. So this is how we make use of middle term splitting method to solve the questions. We have learned these methods. Number one, we have understood how to do the regrouping to find the factorization. Before that, we have done for the monomials how to write the common factors. Then we have done the regrouping method, and then after that I have explained you using the algebraic identities, right? And just now I explained you middle term splitting method. So to find the expression, to find the factors of the given expression, we will be using these four approaches in the exercises. Okay. Now I am moving to the last topic, last concept of the chapter, that is division of algebraic expression. This is simple, right? So first I will again take the natural numbers to explain it. So if I take any natural number, say 12 divided by 2, so it is 6. If I take 20 divided by 10, it is 2, right? So similarly, we will be understanding how we divide the algebraic expressions. So case 1 I am taking as monomial. Monomial means a single term expression divided with a monomial. So when you divide a monomial with a monomial means one single term with one single term, how do you do that? So one example for this, if I say divide 12x square y with 2yz. So how do you do that? 12x square y upon 2yz. If I want to write the factors, what it will be? 2, you can do it here if you want to write 2 6 are 12, 2 3 are 6, and then 1. So I can expand it 2 into 2 into 3, then x into x, then y. Denominator you get 2 into y into z, right? Now start cancelling the term. This 2 is cancelled with this. You can cancel this y with this. Now what are you left with? You are left with 2 3s are 6 into x, which gives you 6x square, and in the denominator you are left with z. So this is how we divide a monomial with a monomial. We will be doing a lot of questions when we will start the exercise. Now with the same concept, now there will be another case when you will be asked to divide a polynomial with a monomial, right? So let's take one example. Any expression I am writing, say 4x square plus 10xy plus 8xyz, and you have to divide it with 2xyz. How do we do that? Now there are three terms. It's a trinomial, right? It's a trinomial. You have to divide it with a monomial. So one thing which you have to keep in mind, that you cannot cancel the terms directly. From here, since they are in addition, there are three terms in the numerator and one term which is equally shared with all the terms. So either you segregate it or you take out common terms from the numerator. 4, 10 and 8. What is common here? 2 can be the common factor. We have here x square. In the second term it is x and x. So x I can take common. Y and z are not in the first term. So what you are left with in the bracket? 2 2s are 4, x plus 2 5s are 10, y, 2 4s are 8 and yz, 2x yz as it is. Now start cancelling. You can cancel this 2 with 2, this x with this x. What you are left with? 2x plus 5y plus 4yz upon yz. So when you divide it, you have to take it common, because this 2xyz in the denominator is equally shared with all the terms. Okay, so this is how you have to divide. This is same as in all the cases. Like moving to the last case, if I say case 3, if you have to divide any polynomial, say 2x plus 12, you have to divide with x plus 6. Now how will you divide it? Let's write it in this form. 2x plus 12 divided with x plus 6. What is common in the numerator? 2 is common. When 2 is common from the first term, what you are left with x, then 2 6 is 12. What is in the denominator again? X plus 6. Shall I cancel this? X plus 6 with x plus 6, and my answer, after the division, is 2. So students, this was all about the complete concept of the chapter. There are many ways where students does little silly mistakes that I will be explaining you when we will start solving the exercise. Please do watch this video before you solve the exercise. Okay, till then, bye bye, take care.